What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today, in honor of the fact that we finally got a release date for the Gundam Seed Freedom movie, for us in the United States, it's going to be showing May 7th and May 8th. So today I wanted to take a look at the metal build Strike Freedom Gundam So Blue. So I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's go. So first, let's take a look at the box. Now, with this is a Tamashii Nations from 2018. This was a Tamashii Nations exclusive in Japan, and usually those have slip covers. So this is what you've got for that one. You've got this on the side. You've got kind of like a faint image of the Strike Freedom Gundam there. So that's it for the slip cover. So once the slip cover is off, this is the front. This is the side. This is the back. It also has the word So Blue here at the top. So nice box art there. This is the other side. So of course it has a faint picture of the Strike Freedom Gundam there. This is the top. And this is the bottom. So you got pretty nice artwork for that. Now, let's actually take a look at the manual. Next, so let's take a look at the manual here. So of course, this came out in 2018. I've had it pretty much since it came out. The Strike Freedom, let's see here what we've got. So of course, this is your parts count as well. So of course, you got the wings here with the stands, all the stand pieces here, and you have the accessories here at the bottom and the hands. So like I was saying, I've had this pretty much since 2018 or 2019. The Strike Freedom, kind of like the Destiny, the metal build Destiny, has always been kind of sought after, especially on the secondary market. It's been very hard to get your hands on at a decent price. And so I was really stoked because I never was able to get the original metal build Strike Freedom, that they came out with this So Blue version. So it is a tad bit different. This is more of a matte finish, kind of like the Destiny So Red. If you saw my Destiny review, I was kind of talking about that. It's the one I would probably get at the end. So yeah, it looks pretty self-explanatory, nothing crazy going on. But yeah, those are very sought after in the secondary market. I remember before the So Blue version of the Freedom came out, that the original metal build Freedom, that's more of a gloss finish, that one was going for $500 to $600 a piece, and it was very sought after. So I was really glad. This is kind of like a reissue, but they did a matte finish on this one. So that's what we've got for the manual. So of course, now let's take a look at accessories. Next, let's take a look at his accessories. So first off, we have his rail guns here. So of course, you know, these are classic with the Freedom and Strike Freedom. The difference between these two can actually connect. Things first, what we're gonna do is take this and pull this out. All right, so we're gonna take this, pull that out just like that. And have that towards the bottom. Then we're gonna take this one and then move this in here. And boom. So that is your dual beam rifles there. So that's what we've got for those. Then we have his railgun. So these are on his side skirts. So of course these will extend out just like this. And you gotta push those in there. And then these both go on his side skirts there. So, and then these fold up. This is pretty much indicative of the Freedom. So the original Freedom had a railgun system that was similar to this as well. So, all right, so I'll take that, fold those back up. So you get two of those. Okay, so, and also on the side, you have the slot for the beam sabers. Okay, so you have those there, and these will actually rotate to the back. And we'll do that here in a little bit. Then we have his beam shield emitters. These go on his forearms. So you have these, and then you'll be able to put the beam shields in there. So you get two of those. Then you get two beam shields. So of course these go on his forearms. And you got 2 attachments. They're a little bit different from the original Destiny that I did a couple of videos back, to where he had actually kind of like the entire like wrist part on there. These you don't. You just kind of take these and put these on. So what we'll do, just to demonstrate that, is take that off. All right, and then you'll take this and plug this in here and here. So we're going to take this, and then kind of just snaps in there like that. So you can do that to both. And then with these beam shields, you actually, I don't know if it picks up on camera, you do have kind of like a purple tint on here on this blue. So you've got that as well. So that's what you've got for your 2 beam shields. And then you have your 2 beam sabers. So like I said earlier, these go on the railguns. And then what the Freedom and Justice usually have, these can actually connect. So you can take this and push this together. Boom, just like that. So you've got your dual beam sabers, and then we'll actually take the beam sabers. Nothing too special about these. It does have a little bit of like a sparkle color towards the bottom of the hilt there. But you know, you just take those and you put these 2 in here, just like this. All right, and then that's your dual beam sabers there. So that's what you've got for the beam sabers. And then you actually have the hands here. So you've got, these are actually the hands for the beam rifles. So you've got a set of those. You've got your wide open hands. Okay, so you've got 2 sets of those. And this gold is actually more of a brush painted. It's not like a chrome plated. I actually think if they did a chrome plate, that would be really, really nice. But so that's what you've got for the wide open hands. And then you have the hands for the beam sabers. So you get 2 of these. Okay, so you got those. All right. Then you have another set, and this looks like this could be for the beam saber or for the either the beam sabers or the beam rifle. So you've got another set there. And then you have your semi-open hands here. So you've got quite a few different ones, and of course he has the closed fist ones that are on him. Okay, so you've got those. So that's what you got for the hands. Then you have the backpack. So of course this has the dragoons. So you've got quite a bit. So this can go way up there, just like that. I'm trying to get that all in the shot, but this can actually go pretty high. So you've got that, and then these actually can go backwards, just like this, and forwards for whatever reason. So you got a pretty good range of motion there. Now for your dragoons actually do come out. So you can take this, split this here, and then pull this out. Now I will say that you want to be careful. I remember like when I was actually making the master grades, this little hook thing has a prone to get broken. And so that's how this dragoon actually clips onto there. So I would say just be careful with that when you actually try to take the dragoons out, because I remember in the master grade specifically, those broke. With the metal builds, they tend to be a little bit more fortified, so it's a lot thicker than the actual master grade was. But I would just be careful with that. So, but you got those there. You've also got like some translucent plastic here. If I can get that to focus. You also got some translucent plastic here on the tip there. So, and we'll actually get into the dragoons a little bit later. So that's what you've got for the wings. And these are pretty heavy duty. Also, he has a lot of support little pieces for his backpack. I don't usually put those in these kind of reviews, but he does have those. So especially when you have them on a stand and stuff like that. So that's what you've got there. So that's what you've got for accessories. Now let's actually take a look at the Strike Freedom himself. Next, let's take a look at his articulation. Now, of course, I don't have his wings and all that stuff on because I just wanted to take a look at the bare bones figure. So, of course, so for the head, of course, he's got a good rock there, and he had the Destiny had that, and so did the Providence. So you've got that for his head. He actually can turn 360. I would say you just want to be careful with this back piece here, but you can get it to spin. So it takes a little bit of work, but you can do that. You've got the chicken hawk there. All right, so he's got range of motion there, so he can look down, he can look up, he can do the what, you know, so he's got quite a bit of range of motion for the head. The Seed suit specifically, they've always done really good as far as articulation for the metal build line. So you've got that for the head. Now for the shoulders, he can actually raise this up just like that, okay? So pretty wide range of motion there. And then he can actually raise his arm up. Now, can he do it 360? I would say probably not, just because of how his shoulders are actually constructed. So, but he does have wide range of motion there. So even though it can't do 360, he does have a pretty wide range there. And then of course, also this will come up. So if you need to raise that arm up like that, you can do it that way as well. So you've got that. Now for his, he's got a decent elbow bend. So of course you've got this here. So you've got a decent elbow bend. I've seen better, but it's not too bad. So you've got that for the elbow. And then for the forearm, this will actually spin 360, okay? So that's what he's got at the forearm there. And then for his wrist, let's see. And then for the wrist, he can move in and out, go down like that, up like that. So he's got pretty wide range of motion for the wrist. So that's always good. The more wrist articulation, the better, I say. So that's what you've got for the arms. And then for the midsection, so the midsection, he has a really good ab crunch. So of course he can look down like this. He can look up, all the way up like that. So he's got pretty wide range of motion there. He can do side to side, but not a ton, okay? But he does have a little bit of wiggle room in here. So you can get a little bit of rock, but unfortunately you don't have a ton like we've seen better in other figures. But you've got that. Now, can it do 360? I would say no. The thing is, because of this kind of brushed metal on here, I think it's made its joints even tighter. And that's actually pretty good for me, considering that this thing is over 5 years old. But it is a possibility that he could possibly do it, but I don't want to mess up the paint work for that gold parts, but he can spin it at least 45 degrees. So you've got that. And then for the waist, for the front skirts, this does separate. So you've got a separation here, and then these also do move up as well, okay? So you've got that. So you've got that. Now, of course, the actual rail guns actually go on his side, so he doesn't actually truly have side skirts, but the rail guns usually go there, and then you've got the back skirts that actually move here and here. So that's what you've got for the waist. So decent articulation there. Now let's take a look at his legs here. So let's move up this side skirt, front skirt, I should say. We're gonna move his leg. So he's got pretty wide range of motion. That's more than a 90 degrees. Let's say that's almost probably about 100 degrees or so. So he's got pretty good range of motion there. Also has a really good knee bend, just like that. So, and then that is all brush painted gold in there. So that does look really, really good. And then you saw the mechanism as that went up and down. So you've got that there. Then for the thigh, you do have a limited swivel there. All right, so I would say you're not gonna get much on the inside, but you can get a little bit on the outside. So, and of course this is all die cast and it's all brushed gold in there as well. So you've got quite a bit going on there. So that's what you've got for the legs. Now let's take a look at the feet here. So what he's got here is he's got a pretty good up and down. So he's got up here, down there, so it will move. Mine's just a little stiff just because even when I bought this guy, I really didn't do much as far as really messing with him. I just kind of put him in the pose that I wanted, and I never really messed with him. So his joints are still relatively stiff. But yeah, so you can go up and down, okay? And then left, right, okay? And then because he has limited armor on his ankles, he's actually got quite a bit of ankle rock there as well. So that's what you've got for the feet. So that's what you've got for articulation. So pretty much, even though he does have some limitations, but I think overall, I still think that his articulation is quite well done. So, and especially considering this is over a 10-year design, if I'm not mistaken. I think the original came out over 10 years ago, roughly around the same time as the Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, considering that this design is pretty old now, that it still has a relatively good mobility. So what we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna put all his stuff on him, and we will go from there. So next, I actually wanted to just take a look at some of his detail now that I got everything on him. And I think the colors accentuate themselves. They go together pretty well. But I will admit, at least once you start putting the backpack and stuff on, he does get a little heavy. As I said in the Providence review, is that in the Seed universe, almost all, especially the main mobile suits, they tend to have really, really big backpacks. So they get really, really heavy. So I will admit that he is doing a little bit of the Michael Jackson Moonwalker lean, just a tad. But overall, as you can see, he's gonna wanna lean back. So you're gonna have to either have to mess with his feet or just put him on a base. But I think overall, it's not bad. You just have to kind of mess with it a little bit. But, you know, so he can move. But if you look at the gold here, like the gold just looks really, really good. I think the only way that you could have gotten better gold is if it was actually like electroplated. I think electroplated would have been really, really good. And it seems like when they actually did the Master Grade EX version of this, they kind of took this design and even did more gold accentuated parts. So, you know, but I think overall this looks really, really good, especially in comparison to the original Freedom. Even though I actually personally like the original Freedom design a little better, but you know, from the little decals that you've got on here, the translucent parts that you've got on the wingtips, you've got a lot of good stuff here. Now, for the railguns actually do move to his side, so you can actually put his guns on the hips. So what you would actually do, and what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take this backpack off real quick. Okay, so now that we got his backpack off, in order to actually rotate the railgun, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this and you're gonna slide that down just like that, and then you're gonna rotate this to the back, just like that. Now his beam sabers do like to come off. They don't really stay it on very well, but so you've got that, and then you're just gonna take this and move this over. All right, so you take that, move those over just like that, and then you can actually put the beam sabers back on if you like, or you can just leave them off, but we'll put them on just like that. All right, so we'll take those, move those down just like that. So you've got the railguns in the back there, and then we can actually take his guns and put those on his side. So we've got, all right, so you take those and move those in. All right, so you got one side there, and then you got this side here. And actually I'll push this back in. So take that, put that in on this side. And as you hear, the the beam sabers come off. Yeah, that holder for the beam sabers is not actually that well done. But, you know, so you've got that look as well, so you can actually store it. That's what he looks like with those on, so we'll actually put those down, and then we'll actually put the wings back on. Oh, actually, before I put the wings back on, actually, I want to show you something with on the back calves. For his thrusters, he does have two thrusters in here. So these will actually come open as well. So you've got that. That's kind of like on the Destiny, but those do stand out. All right, so you've got that. Now we can put the backpack on him. So let's put this back on him just like that. And as you see, even though he does kind of want to lean, he does want to kind of lean backwards a tad, but if you can kind of reposition the wings a little bit, and we can kind of get him to stand up straight. All right, there we go. Let's go. There you go. All right, so as we got the wings on him, you can get him to stand up straight. You just have to kind of work with the wings a little bit, and that. So you've got that look. So he looks amazing. I think aesthetically, he looks great. Now, for me, like I said earlier, I do actually like the original Freedom design better. I've always considered this to be a little over the top, even in the Seed universe. But I think overall, I think it looks really, really great as a metal build. So next, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at his Dragoons, and we'll get him set up for that. Next, I wanted to actually show you what he looked like displayed, and to show you some of the things with the stand. Now, of course, as you see, he's kind of in his dual gun pose that is from the opening credits of Gundam Seed Destiny. I think it's opening 3 and 4, I think. So that's what you've got for him here. So with this, he also has a lot of, let's see if I can zero in here real quick. Here, he actually has ample back support right in here. And so what that's doing is that's kind of keeping it so it doesn't slouch over. Now, I actually will say, especially since I've done the Providence review and that's a lot newer than this one is, I kind of do like the back support that they had in that one a little bit better than this one, but that's not because this one is bad. I just think that the Providence one was really, really good. So that's what you've got for the back support there. Now for this stand, it actually does give it ample support if you actually do want to do this double gun pose. The thing is that my joints on this one are extremely strong because once I bought it, I really didn't mess with it all that much. So the joints on this one are extremely solid. But for whatever reason, if you do have loose or you just want it to be have some support so it actually doesn't fall down, they actually give you this piece here. All right, and it's got a little T shape in the on the top there, and you would just plug this in here, just like that. And so actually I'll angle that down. So you actually got this here, and then you can actually take that and then grasp that. I think they had this with the new Gundam. So what you would do is actually, you can actually move this around quite a bit, but you know, you could actually have that and it would actually clamp down here. I don't want to do it because this pose, this is not really holding it, it's just kind of guiding it. And so if I put this on there and try to clamp it down now, it'll actually pull out. But that's what you would do for that. So you do have that option there. And also you do have a spot for its Dragoons as well, if you want those to be deployed. And if you have the Wings of Light set, I do have the Wings of Light set, but I actually may go over that in another video instead of adding it to the back of this one. So let's take his Dragoons off and we'll see what he looks like without those on. So here, of course, we actually have his Dragoons off. So, and you would actually just plug the Wings of Light set in. But for this, he actually does have a little display at the bottom here. So all of these are kind of angled in an interesting way. So I do like the fact that they have that display for the wings if you like to have that off or have the Wings of Light set on. Now, what I will say about the gold as far as his hands are concerned, I noticed by just putting him in this pose that messing with this gun and kind of trying to put this in this hand here is that some of that gold on that hand has worn off a little bit. I don't know if that's because they don't put a clear coat on it, or I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I think it's like soft rubber. I don't even think that they're hard plastic because you can move them quite well. But other than that, I haven't had any problems with the gold at all. So it still looks really, really good. So that's what we've got for the stand. I just wanted to show you what it could do for this and for this display. Now, this display does actually take up quite a bit of room in your DTOF. For mine, I actually have it in the back. And so, you know, you've got that as well. So hopefully you have size, because it is a pretty nice size for the Strike Freedom. So now we'll get into final thoughts. So last thoughts on this guy. Man, oh man, this is a blast in the past for me. Now, I remember back in 2018 when I actually got this guy, this was a very, very hard metal build to find, especially at a good price. The original that had the gloss finish on it, that one was going for $500-600, and I just knew that I wasn't going to pay that. And so when they did this kind of reissue and called it the Soul Blue, this is the matte finish version. I would actually say that this probably looks better than the original. And I like the matte finish on it a little bit better than I do the gloss finish, because with the Destiny that I have that I did a review on the channel for, that one was the original, and so that one had the more gloss finish. But overall, there's not really too many negative things I can say about him. The gold on it is great. I would have preferred it all to be chrome plated, but I understand that's probably a price issue. But even if it's not chrome plated, that's not saying that this is dull gold. It is not. It is very vibrant, very gold-like, and they may actually have had some of it gold plated, especially on the knees and the elbows and things like that. But it would have been nice to maybe have the entire thing chrome plated. So, but other than that, the only negatives I can think of, it does have a hard time standing up, especially with that heavy backpack on. Now that is that's pretty run-of-the-mill, especially with seed kits. Seed kits tend to have extremely big backpacks, and so these tend to be a little bit on the heavy side. But as far as his articulation is concerned, he's very, very good. He can do what you saw him do in Gundam Seed Destiny and probably Gundam Seed Freedom, even though I haven't seen it yet. He comes with all of his weapons. The Wings of Light, even though I didn't review that in this actual review, but that just kind of gives him even more pop, I imagine. I may end up doing another video on that if this video does well. But, ultimately, there's not really much that I can say that's negative. I love the redesign. This Strike Freedom looks better than every other Strike Freedom before it from the Master Grade. Now, I will say that the Master Grade EX that has come out recently, I say within the last 2 years or so, that one to me took a lot of cues from this metal build. I really do believe that. And so it actually has even more gold accentuated parts. But I think overall, this made an improvement on the actual Strike Freedom design, which was already popular, and even made it better. And that's why I really like the metal build line, especially for the seed stuff. They tend to do just slight modifications that do a slight redesign to make it a little bit better as far as proportionally or detail wise. And that's why I prefer the metal build line to anything else. But overall, I will say out of 10 stars, he gets a 10. Like I can't give him anything less than that. So, hopefully we'll get to see if they do a reissue of this, especially with the new Seed Freedom movie out, if we'll get one of those or if we'll just get the Mighty Strike Freedom. I know they have the Shigoken one, and I've talked about that in another announcement video. But it'll be interesting to see if we get another reissue of this or if they just tack it on to the Mighty Strike Freedom. Because ultimately, the Mighty Strike Freedom is really just the Strike Freedom with a new backpack. There are slightly differences in the shoulders, differences in the rail guns and things like that. But overall, it's practically the same suit. Anyways, but I'll get into my issues with that in another video. But anyway, yeah, this is a 10 for me. If you can pick them up, good luck. I haven't seen this guy for anything less than $550, usually between $500 and $550. So if you can find him for anything less than that, if you can get him closer to $350, definitely go and try to pick him up. But anyway, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.